So what's up, guys? John from Heavysettactical here. Taking a long drive, and I really wanted to not a long drive, but you know, pretty good haul this morning. And I'm carrying my TRM Atom. I decided to rock the lizard skin titanium scales again for a little bit. Just can't get enough of this knife. If you guys don't have one, join. I also wanted to take a second to tell you guys where I get a lot of my deals on folders that are discontinued or folders that are hard to get. I belong to a few Facebook groups that I am giving you guys an absolute pass to go and try to get into. You know, hit the join button and answer the questions. And if it asks how you found out about it, say I watched Heavysettactical's channel and he told me to come on here. But they have buy-sell trades all the time. Now, yes, there is calculated risk in all affairs when it comes to buying on the private market. I have, in all these years, man, I'm talking probably close to $45,000 or $50,000 worth of buying on private Facebook groups. I got burned twice. One time was a guy I sent a knife to that paid with PayPal goods and services, and there was some sort of glitch with PayPal, and I lost out on about $100. The second time was I almost got burned for $500. But I told him I'd send him half because the guy really wasn't sketchy, but he was acting a little sketchy and not doing some of the things I asked him to do. He wouldn't FaceTime me on Messenger app. So I sent him half up front. I could have lost out on $500, only lost out on like $250. So out of hundreds of transactions, only twice I had an issue. But that means that there is a technical percentage of risk. So there's a lot of things that you got to talk to them and ask them for. Ask them to take a photo of the knife with your name and the date and time written down on a piece of paper next to the knife. Things of this nature. Look at their Facebooks. If they have no photos of them, don't buy a knife from them. But make a long story short, excuse me. The wedding yesterday went great. Had a ball. Oh my God, I had a ball. I officiated the wedding, so yes, I am Father John. It was a really good time, and everybody had a blast. And I wrote out this huge 3-page sermon, you know, for officiating the wedding, and I did it really legit, and it was just a great turnout. It was a very small thing. It was like 15 people maybe. You know, some of his family, some of her family, each of their kid, and then my folks, you know. And it was a really great, it was a great affair. Oh, it was a great time. Everybody had a good time. It went smoothly. And I got to marry my best buddy. I got to marry him and his wife, you know. And that's something that we get to hold on to for a long time. That was very fun. I used to watch Scab from Choir Boys Cutlery. I used to watch his videos, his car talks. And now that I'm seeing how much my phone's rattling on my little phone connector thing, I'm really hoping that it's not super annoying to watch, because I'm on the highway now. So guys, today I wanted to talk to you guys about gratitude. I'm going to do things a little different today. I just wanted to post this video. Tomorrow, I got a bunch of long-form content dropping tomorrow. We're testing out that Knives by Nuge Brewing and a bunch of stuff. This is a discussion-based video. Some people watch them and can get enjoyment out of them. So when I started my YouTube channel, I promised myself that I was going to not be like most big channels that I watched. I'm not a big channel, but I'm saying. The thing that drove me crazy was there's not that many channels, and I really wanted to watch content like all the time. So I kept hitting these walls, and there's only so many YouTubers, and I promised myself I would be diligent and put out a nice long video and a short put out a short every day at least, and then maybe every other day put out a long video. And I've been slacking. My viewership's gone down. I haven't had any new subscribers, you know. But that's just because I'm building a knife company. It takes some time and some thought and some attention. And you know, it's got a lot going on. But I digress. The fall and winter is my favorite time to camp, to hike, to shoot videos. So we're really going to hit it hard with the videos the next few weeks and have a lot of fun. Tomorrow I'll be dropping a few long form content videos on you know, on some knives that you'll like. But yeah, I wanted to share today my experience and some of my personal growth as a human being, because it's been such a beautiful experience. And I really wanted to share it with the only people that I had reached to share it with. So I had gotten a lot of trouble and had a rough past when I was young. I did a lot of dumb stuff, you know, had a DUI and just did some stupid stuff. Never ever got an aggravated assault or anything with sex, you know, any sexual crimes, nothing like that. But I had a rough childhood. I was really stupid, drank a lot, you know, smoked pot. I was a little bit of a dipshit. And that quickly faded, and I got my life together, you know, years ago. And make a long story short, I really started evolving my faith. And at first that faith came out as not necessarily faith in God, but faith in, you know, like the universe, faith in myself, faith in the goodness of mankind. And I really, really, really just have the best family, and a couple really tight-knit friends that are good friends. So it's weird. I started praying to God and going to church and things like that, you know, within a year ago. And when I added that component and started paying attention to some of the white lies and exaggerating and you know, respecting people's time more. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there, things like that. When I started respecting myself and my time and other people and their time a little more diligently, and I started being a more diligent man, things started changing. And guys, I'm telling you, there's so many people that are probably watching this video right now that just feel lost. And like, you know, I know when I felt lost, I always knew what would make me feel better, whether it was my weight, losing some weight and getting active, whether it was finally going back to school and finishing my degree, whether it was whatever you know, your thing is. There's always something that we hold on to that's that negative heap that we have to get over or get past or get around or find a way to cope with, live with. So guys, I've been praying and being more diligent with caring for my parents. You know, they're both 70, they're getting up there in age. My niece and nephew, I'm fantastic with them. I'm very diligent with spending time with them, and my brother and his girlfriend. So I swear, when you guys do what you love and love what you do, things change. And I've been finally, you know, with the knife stuff, I went out to survive and somehow got out of there only losing about 10 grand when I could have lost 110 grand. That was a miracle. I mean, I played things very, very intelligently and had backups and avenues of getting repaid if things went bad. And, you know, I tried to do it in a way that was calculated, and that did go pretty well. But I felt like my dream was to be a part of a knife company I believed in, because I bought guys' lies. And the sad part is, I'm not, Guy, if you're watching this, I'm not harping on you, man. My dad and I were talking the other day. We feel bad for you. and we feel for you, because I know that all those videos, guys, I was a consumer of Survive Knives for a long time. I would sit there and watch these videos of him talking about new fun projects coming out and his hard work he's doing. And when I got out there, I realized that they weren't doing anything. I mean, like, in the grand scheme of the 3,600 orders that they still owed, some of those being multiple knives, you know, they weren't doing shit to get out of that situation. But he was doing what he could, and he was in this kind of delusional state of, oh, well, as long as I am diligent, something will happen. I'll get lucky. I'll have one more person buy us out. One more person give us $100 grand to get a month down the road. And they just they lived like that for years. And so I went out there. I'm not trying to make this a Survive video, but I went out there, and I felt like when I went out there, I had in my heart that guy was a good dude that had a bad run of business decisions, and I could potentially help him, and we could bring the Survive Knives back, dude. All you guys that are watching this that were or are big Survive fans, like, dude, I loved Survive Knives. Oh my God, there wasn't a single model that didn't make sense for me ergonomically. The steel wasn't completely up to par. The fit and finish was good. But he never had enough money to take it to that great level like TRC knives. Guy always in his heart, I think, wanted to be like TRC level, you know, just primo fixed blades at a better price. But you just can't get there these days unless you are willing to make concessions and come up with a smarter way to do the work. So I got out there, my dream fell through, and, you know, I was crushed. Dude, I was crushed. I came home, I had all these Survive knives I bought off a guy. As we went along, I'd find some knives in a crate, put handle scales on them, sharpen them, and be like, here, I'll give you 150, 200 bucks for each one, and there'd be 3. You know, that would happen once in a while. When I first went out there, he gifted me 1 or 2 knives. I'm gonna switch sides. And then there was a couple times where I bought some expensive knives at cost just through the website. So I felt so guilty and so ashamed about my partake. Excuse me. I felt so guilty and so ashamed about my part that I played in Survive that that I took all those knives and I sold them. I knew that they'd be worth $1,000 a piece on eBay that first month. Now, Survive knives aren't selling on eBay at all. But at first, dude, they were selling for $800-900 bucks in eBay bids all day long. And because they are great knives. So, make a long story short, I knew they were worth a lot of money, but I felt so guilty. This one guy hit me up and he sent me receipts for like $4,000 in orders, $5,000 in orders. These 2 different guys sent me orders, and my buddy Joe was one of them. He just had a shitload of orders, man. And pardon my French, I shouldn't be cussing online. I went a year and a half not doing it, and now sometimes I slip because it is funny, but whatever. So I sold my knives away, for my whole collection of Survives away. All my, you know, I had a GSO 12, the only one. I had 2 GSO 10s, 1 coated, 1 not. Some GSO 8s. I had a couple 5.1, all kinds of stuff. All the little ones that never got out. And I felt so terrible that those guys that really got screwed for thousands, I sold them knives for pennies on the dollar. So I'm not saying that to be like, oh, look at me, I'm the greatest, or some kind of savior. I'm just saying that's where my heart and my head was. I felt so much guilt that I was even a part of that. Because, guys, all I ever wanted to be was in the knife community. I wanted to work for a knife company and do their even doing like HR work for a knife company, just because I love knives so much. And I eat, sleep, and breathe knives. If I'm taking a crap, I'm sitting there with a knife in my hand looking at it. We're watching and listening to knife content. When I fall asleep at night, you bet your bottom, dude, I fall asleep with a folder in my hand or a fixed blade on my chest that I was looking at when I passed out. Every night. Oh my God, my parents wake up and, you know, when I was first got back from Gettysburg, I was sleeping on the couch because I didn't have my old bedroom set up. And yes, I still live at home. That's where my shop is, on their property. You know, I'm going to be there for another month or two maybe. But I literally, when I first came back, I was staying on their couch. And, you know, it's a pretty big house, so I had my own space. And they weren't, you know, my parents are very cool people and easy to get along with. So I had a couple times, my dad, I'd wake up and there'd be a note there taped to one of my knives saying, you need to stop sleeping with a knife in your hand or on your chest or laying next to you. You know, there's a bunch of times I've cut myself by, like, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and something hurts real bad on my friggin' man boob or my love handles, and it's because there's a frickin' folder underneath me. That happens all the time. Sounds crazy, but I eat, sleep, and breathe knives, and all I ever wanted to do was be a part of the knife community. But I never thought I would do my own company. So, so fast forward, I get home, I pretty much give away all my Survive knives, and I bought a couple back from some guys on the Facebook group who are really nice. But yeah, so I come back and I was like, screw it, you know, I got a bunch of equipment, I got some money, you know, let's start a knife company. And I didn't think I ever had, I've been very skilled with my hands forever. My dad and I have done some very crazy whole house remodels. We've flipped a bunch of houses, you know, 6, 7 houses I lived in when I was younger, learning all these crafting, you know, what's that called? God, contracting skills that I learned from my dad was from us living in a bunch of different old big farmhouses and flipping them, because he loved that. And it made him feel productive, because he was working a white collar job at a college, a state college, and he didn't like that. He liked when he used to own a contracting company. So we would flip houses and moved around a lot in the same area, southern Lancaster, PA, all around these wooded properties, nice, you know, in the middle of nowhere. It was really great. But so all I wanted to do was be in the knife community and make knives, and be a part of a knife company, be a part of a company I believed in that made tools that were usable and of service to people, and that someone could use to defend their life, defend their family, that they could use and rely on and trust that they're going to do what they say that we say they're going to do every time. So guys, when I tell you that I am terrified, now that I'm not with an already established company and I'm starting one, I'm scared nobody's gonna buy my knives or like my knives, my knife designs. They're gonna be very basic. I think basic's always better. You know, when it comes to folders, I have some flashy folders and that's whatever, but fixed blades for me, that's why I liked the Knives by Nuge Bruin that I just got to test, that I'm putting out a video for tomorrow. I love basic. My Carta scales, you know, Elmax, MagnaCut, those are okay, but I like me some 3V with my Carta scales, some 80 CRV2 from Allen down in South Carolina at Primitive Bear Knives, or some Crewware, something reliable, Old Faithfuls, you know. But I really like Elmax. So, make a long story short, all I ever wanted to do was join the knife community and make knives, and now I'm getting to do that. And all you guys that have been helpful along the way, you know, Gabe, my buddy from Last Huntsman channel, Jacob Peterson from Exodus Knife and Tool, Gary Creeley has been monumental in helping me from Creeley Blades. Alan with Primitive Bear Knives is a fine man, and a fine human being, and he has helped me quite a bit, and let me go down there and learn how he hand grinds and all this stuff. So, you know, there's been some pretty monumental. Scab from Choir Boys Cutlery always has something positive to say when I reach out to him, you know, and ask him how he's doing. He always says, you know, he's excited to see my knives. All these great guys in the knife community. And if there's a couple I'm forgetting to name, Mill Run Knife Company. Dude, he's great. You know, all these people. My buddy Thomas Carrasco, he's a knife collector and a knife enthusiast. He's the one that sent me that 80 CRV2 T-Cal Mercenary. You know, he's been very, very, very helpful with my knife world stuff these days, my endeavors. But, and if there's any I'm forgetting, I apologize. It's just because I'm driving and trying to responsibly shoot this video while I'm driving. I'm pulling in at one of my destinations, so I'm actually stopping for a minute so I can talk a little easier and more on subject. So, make a long story short, guys, I care so much about doing one thing. I care so much about providing a good knife that people can rely on and use. And I will tell you what, right? My fixed blade for today is the Moss, M-O-S-S, the Moss by Dauntless Manufacturing. And I look at a really great kind of traditional looking knife like this. And it's not that traditional, I know. It's a milled knife on a CNC mill and handle scales that are cool, 2 different textures, but I look at what knives symbolize to me, and I can sum that up in one sentence, and that is I have a K-bar that my grandfather got me the first time I went hunting up at the cabin and killed a deer. We went to Bass Pro or Cabela's, I forget. And I got a bodysuit and I got hunting boots. I was with my dad and my grandfather. And they got me a K-bar skinning knife and gutting knife. And that knife means so much to me. You just couldn't even imagine. If my house was on fire, I would have my dog, which I don't have anymore. She passed. My dog under one arm and that knife in my other hand. I mean, it is an heirloom, a tool has useful usability, you know, and that you can pass down to your kids that will forever be like, guys, when I die, my knife collection is going to be divided up between my niece, nephew, and my brother, and those are going to be a part of me. You know what I mean? So knives to me symbolize so much more than just a badass tactical knife or something to defend yourself with. I mean, they do mean that, and they're fun to have. You know, good looking, kind of more flashy stuff is fun. I got some more high-end stuff too. But to me, it symbolizes just something useful that I can carry and I can use, and it makes sense to spend a couple $100s on that. When I spent a couple $100s on an Apple Watch, smartwatch, whatever, you know, that's going to die in a year or two. If you get it soaking wet, it's probably going to die. Okay, they might be waterproof, whatever, but you catch my meaning. There's only so much usability in a new phone or a pair of shoes or blah, blah, blah. But guys, these knives just last forever. I don't care if it's an 80 CRV2 or 52-100 or 1095. It's still, even if it rusts, dude, you bet your ASS that thing's going to last forever. And knives are important to me. Very important to me. So there's going to be some comments on this video. Like, I love when I put out a long discussion video and someone literally talks so much crap on it in the comments, but they sat and watched the whole thing or else they wouldn't know the points in which they wanted to talk crap on. So I'm like, well, you obviously sat and watched it. Watch something else. What are you going to do? Make fun of me for my weight or my crooked teeth? I have a huge underbite. I broke my jaw straight down the center. So all from the center over is down a little further than the left. But I just went and had a really good dentist appointment and talk with my oral surgeon and my dentist, and they're gonna help me get some stuff fixed. Because I didn't take too good a care of myself when I was younger. I should have been a lot more diligent. But when you're not happy, when you guys see people that are dirty and or not taking care of themselves, or their teeth are all jacked up, that's because they don't care enough about themselves to do it. You know what I mean? And I understand that. I was like that for a little while. But I quickly got back on track and got back to what I love, which is the outdoors, which is knives, which is some good close-knit friends, and my family. My family is so important to me. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts today, and man, we went on a tangent. You guys know I'm like squirrel, having an intimate conversation, squirrel. But I wanted to share a little piece of my story with you guys and just say, I have a bunch of videos coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a big day for dropping videos, which is always a fun day. And I got my cameras ready to go and everything ready to go for the morning. Early morning, I'm going to get up and go out and finish 2 videos and then post them. But make a long story short, I guess I just wanted to really, more than anything, I didn't speak on it much at all, but when you guys change into the man that you're going to be, as you get older, some of you young guys out there, I'm 34, and when you start to make those changes and you realize what you really want in your life and what you really don't want or don't need in your life. I don't need some girl in my life with a short skirt who I'm always fighting with, and we don't trust each other, and the texting and the drama. Oh my God. I dated some very attractive but very dysfunctional relationships I've had. Oh my God. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about any of that. I don't date much anymore. I stopped seeing that girl up north that I posted about on Instagram. That was sad. She was beautiful and great. Her kid was great. But, I had a lot to focus on at home and a lot of growing to still do. And the business, the knife company I'm starting, the shop's fully operational, just about. I need to get some more aggregate for the tumbler and the blasting cabinet. I tried out the aluminum oxide blasting. I didn't like it. It was a little too dirty. So I'm going to do what Chris Reeve does. I'm going to do glass blasting and glass bead blasting. So now this week I'm going to try both those out. But guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys that watch my content. Who am I? Some random guy from Lancaster, Pennsylvania that grew up in the sticks. That just loves knives and likes putting content out about knives. It's, I'd consider myself a nerd before I would consider myself like a badass. But I definitely don't do it to be a badass, that's for sure. I do it for the love of the game, for the love of the knives, and that's why I do all of it. But make a long story short, I've been praying and I've been diligent with my family and try to be diligent in my affairs. And there's a fantastic quote. I think it's a Hemingway quote that was oh my God. I think about it all the time. It talks about each day doing better. You don't have to change overnight, but as long as you're improving on the man that you were the day before, you're going in the right direction. It's a quote about nobility. There's nothing noble about being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. So I try to do better. I try to be better. I try to be more honest. Be more honest with myself about things I want and don't want in my life, or things I don't want to put time towards and I want to put times towards. I always wanted to do a little more content on folding knives as well, because I feel like these days either there's Metal Complex or Gideon's Tactical, or Metal Complex or Scab from Choir Boys. Either you do mostly like survival knives and fixed blades, or you do folders. There's never like a mix. Scab does do folders, but you know what I mean. It's kind of either like the goofy EDC guys with the folders and tiny little micro knives, or big choppers and Essies and blah blah blah. But I've been really mixing it up with the folders, man, and I got some premium folders and some more coming in and some fun. I've been having a lot of fun doing the buy sell trade stuff. So if any of you guys, I'm gonna list my email in the description, my personal email. Guys, ask Tom C. Tom Carrasco, my buddy on Instagram. That's his name, Tommy C on Instagram. But you know, he comments about a lot of knives and TKL stuff, and he's got a cool little family and everything. He's a good dude. But you know, he was a guy that when I did my knife sale, he hit me up on my email. I got right back to him. I sold him a knife at a great price. And then, you know, then we started to, or wait, I forget if I sold him a knife or not. But he sent me an email on my Gmail, on heavysettactical@gmail.com. And we chop it up all the time. We talk all the time on Instagram about knives, things we see, things we like, don't like. And he's becoming a friend. So guys, when I say, like, it doesn't matter how big my channel gets, when you hit that email account up, I answer right away. You guys have any questions about you know, when my drops are going to be, or when I go to do a drop, if you guys, you know, see a video about it and want clarification, you know, you just want to talk about knives, find me on Instagram, send me a message. I'll reply to it immediately, or send me an email. But I just wanted to share, you know, some of my experience of kind of growing up a little bit. And you know, when you start to do something you love and really start caring for yourself and the people around you, you know, and start being more honest and more diligent with time and respecting people, man, the world just opens up. So one of the last funny lessons God wanted to teach me was, I'm really bad with patience and nicotine. I gotta stop these stupid ass vapes. Oh my God. God forgive me. So I don't religiously smoke, but I do hit these on drives sometimes. Or when I'm doing a knife chat for some reason. It's nice to sit there and take a couple puffs of it. But one lesson on patience was, I am always impatient. Sometimes, not always with everything. I drive nice and slow and steady. I learned my lesson about fast driving a couple times over. So I swear to you, my thing is, guys, we all are blessed, right? We are all blessed and taken care of by the God of your understanding. For me, it's God. It's Jesus Christ. And yes, sometimes I still swear. I'm not perfect. I apologize for it at the end of every day if I do swear. But guys, when you start to put more mind towards things like spiritual things, you know, you start to kind of unlock these characteristics and ways of thinking. And, you know, I started caring way more about the cars around me and the safety of other people and myself. So I started driving very responsibly. When it comes to patience, sometimes I get impatient. That's what I was saying. And I had a knife that I've always wanted. It was a Grimsmo Rask. And I was going to buy one on eBay for, like, guys, they're like $1,300 on Knife Center. The nice ones, with some texturing on the handles. They're a folding knife, Grimsmo Knives Rask. I've always wanted one. I was going to spend almost $1,000 on one. And because I was impatient, I had put money aside just for this purchase. And I literally, for once, I literally was getting ready to buy it before I went to bed, and I said, this one time, I'm going to be patient, go to sleep, and I'll spend the whole day tomorrow trying to find one on a Facebook group, now that I have the money set aside. And that morning, I woke up with a message from my buddy in California that sells, he has a eBay store. I can't think of the name of it. He just sells EDC stuff, knives and pry bars and mostly folders. But he sells real ones. He's a very trustworthy eBay buyer. I know the guy personally. I've bought a lot of knives from him. And he messaged, I woke up with a message from him that said, hey man, I remember about 3 or 4 months ago we were talking and you said how bad one day you wanted to get a Grimsmo Rask. And he had the exact pinstripe bronze coated, bronze finish, bronze anodized, pinstriped Grimsmo Rask that I always wanted, right? So this was just 2 days ago. So I was able to buy it for $650. For a Grimsmo Rask, that's a fantastic price. The only ones you can get for under $800 are always marked up or used. This is mint condition, brand new, with the box and the oil and the screwdriver and blah blah, right in the case, brand new. He's like, dude, you bought a lot from me this year. I was just looking at your, the stuff, my account, the stuff I've purchased from him. He said, I'll sell it to you for what I got it for. I'm sure he got it for about $50 cheaper than that, but he's got a lot of resources. So I got a Grimsmo Rask, and it's on the way. So I spent, I have an account, a bank account, and in a separate account is where I shift over money for my channel and for my knives. So this dude, Gary Creeley, owns Creeley Blades, Gary Creeley, he showed me for the first time a Freeman 451 flipper. From those of you that go to Blade Show know that Freeman Outdoors is awesome. And they have sick fixed blades too. For you guys that like the Freeman 451 flipper, they have awesome like combat survival knives. So, the Grimsmo Rask 2 days ago, I was able to pay for it and get it in the mail. And at the same, this is all in the same week. That's where I was going. This is all in the same week. The Grimsmo Rask was 2 days ago. About 2 days before that, it was 4 days ago, I was on a Facebook group, and I had posted weeks ago about looking for a Les George Talos or a Les George VECP. It drives me crazy that companies like DLT Trading, I can go on there, and when Les George drops his handmade folders, I can have my friends buy all of them up, then I can go over and put them on eBay for $1,000 a piece, and they'll sell like hotcakes for everyone that missed the drop. That shit drives me crazy. When I am selling knives of mine, I will be selling one per customer unless you call me on the phone and explain to me that you are getting one for you and a matching one for your son, in which I will do two. But I swear to God, man, I will do whatever I have to protect from that. If I even have knives that are sought after. So, there's that ego creeping up. So, you got to keep your ego in check, man. It's huge. I used to be egotistical and worried about my body, and I was always really, really muscular and fit. Had a big ego. I was always the most insecure person in the room, you know what I mean? But not anymore. Not anymore. Very confident. But because I don't, I don't care what people think of me anymore. Very much. So I do care if my knives sell or not. That'll suck if they don't. And they might not for a while. So, long story short, a guy hits me up and hooks me up for $500, which is crazy. The only ones I've seen for sale were between $850 and $1,200. A Les George VECP with like top-notch customization stuff done to it. Serious customization stuff done to it. So I got that. 2 days later, my buddy hits me up for the Rask, and I had just enough to get that. So now my $1,200 for the next couple weeks of buying for my channel is gone, right? Or $1,100 is gone. $1,200 is gone. So my buddy just pulled in. So long story short, the 451 Flipper by Freeman Outdoors is a knife I've wanted since Gary showed it to me when I first went out there months ago. So I had a trade on a trade post on Facebook listed my Hinderer Knives Eclipse. And I am trading my Hinderer Knives Eclipse for the Freeman. So in 1 week, all three of my most sought after folders, Les George VECP, Grimsmo Rask, and 451 Flipper by Freeman. And somehow, I'm telling you, because I've been humble, I helped my buddy and married him. He's right in the background. He just pulled in. All these things that I've been doing and caring and being more careful and patient and blah, blah, blah. It just all paid off in 1 week. And I'm not saying these are gifts from God. I'm just saying that all of us are always blessed. It's just whether or not we take the time to recognize all these blessings. I always thought I was cursed getting the short end of the stick when God saved my life so many times. And it's just whether or not you're conscious of it. So I'm going to go in and patch some holes in their wall, and I'm going to put up some Christmas lights for them and visit with them. Right back at you. And I hope you guys have a great day. This was a long discussion. This was 40 minutes. So if anybody doesn't watch it, I do not blame you. God bless America. God bless our veterans. God bless everyone that's watching this. Thank you guys very much for watching my content. I have a great time doing it. I just felt today like I haven't had enough of a consistent presence online, and I wanted to put out a discussion video. So I love you guys. If you guys are knife guys, you're my guys, man. Anything you like on my channel, you can email me and ask me to check out one of my fixed blades. I don't care. That's just me. Life is way too short to be, hoarding your stuff and not having fun and letting people check out knives and just talking to people and whatever. So God bless you guys. I hope you have a great Saturday. And thank you for watching my content very much. It makes me happy. And I hope that you enjoy some of my knives that I get done. I got 10 prototypes right now. 3 and 3 are similar but different sizes. I want to see which ones I like. So I'll be showing some prototypes in the next week or two. And then we're going to start working on my first drop, which will be probably in 2-3 months at the most. I'd like to get a first drop out there pretty quick. But yeah, I'm going to have some hand-done customs out there that I'm putting out there over the next couple weeks. Some stuff I've been finishing. So a lot of cool stuff to come. Thank you guys so much. And like always, stay safe and stay heavy.